Hey everyone, I'm so excited about this project and usually when I get really excited about a project, it no one cares. It's like, yeah, I don't care about those. But listen, I've been working on this for months and I have all of all of these failures to prove it. And there's more. But what started this, I saw a couple months ago some clusters that Bonnie had done out of film strip. And these were the only 8 film strips I could find in my whole house. And as you can see, I'm hoarding them. I'm not going to use them. But I went about trying to figure out how to create my own. And through talking with my friend who does know all about the science and what will peel and what won't peel and whatever, figured out nothing I was doing was going to work. So I think this made me happy. Now, granted, these are not clear. You cannot see through them. But I've made some that you can see through. And I think they turned out pretty neat. Don't look at the backs, but the front looks pretty neat. And I want to show you how I did it. I hope you get excited. I hope you try this too. So right up front, I did use die cuts to make these, but you don't have to because I can't find them now, but during my process of trying to figure out how to make the film strips, I learned that you can just cut the strip and then take a tiny hole puncher, and this one is, I don't know what size. I was trying to see if I could tell. But just a round hole punch like this and go up the side, and it looks just as good because look at this one. Those are round. They're not square. This one's more squarish. But that one's not, and it looks just as good. So you could use just a small round hole punch and go up the sides. But I did use, and this is a ticket I learned after I cut it, that's not even the right thing. So I did use some of these die cuts to make mine. But again, you don't have to have that. I use that. And then I always have a plethora of photo paper that I've gotten from the secondhand store. I think I got these packets for like I'm sorry, a quarter or a dime. I can't remember. They were on sale that day. And they were just filled with photo paper. If I could get one out. But, I mean, big sheets of photo paper, too. I have, so it looks like this. One size shiny. You're meant to print pictures on it, okay? So I did all this on the shiny side. I don't know that it wouldn't work just as well on the other because I had a video a long time ago where I painted on the opposite side and it worked with alcohol inks, and probably it worked just as good, if not a little bit better. I'm going to bring you down a little bit. And we said we can make these with the hole punch, but what about the little square things? Um, I guess you could make a little square template and, put your template on here like something heavier, like the cardstock, and then use an X-Acto knife and cut them. Or I have a punch. This one's too big. It's 1.25 inches, but I would imagine they make smaller square punches that you could cut something like that. So this was acetate, and on the acetate I used some marker, ink pad, and I think some alcohol inks. My problem with this was I could never get it to, for one, the marker was too streaked no matter how I put it on. I tried a sponge, a brush, all kinds of things. There's the ink pad. I didn't like that at all. This was alcohol inks, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know. I didn't like the texture and I didn't like the look of it. I didn't like how that looked. This was laminate, is what this was. Like I had leftover laminate from a project. This is acetate. See, I didn't like all that streaky, but I think this works great to put behind one we've already cut out. I like that look. But I just didn't like it for the actual strip itself. It just wasn't dark enough. So that's why I think the photo paper worked definitely the best. And I'm sure somebody, I'm hoping somebody has figured out another way that's, maybe works better, or I'd love to hear it. Or maybe no one else cares to make these things. Maybe it was just me, but you know how sometimes you see something and it triggers you. Oh, I have to make that. I have to figure out how to make those because I can't find any of them. And what I did was I took my alcohol inks and I cut them first, because you don't want to run them through your die cut. If you're going to do that with this on it, it probably would come off. I don't know. That, or it might stain your little plate. But anyway, so I cut them first. Then I took them, and this is a good tip my friend gave me, Laura. Take a paintbrush, anything that you can designate to just alcohol inks. And I use 3 different colors here. The red one, this red one, is rosewood. And the really, really dark one was espresso. And I know it's showing up really black, but it's actually, in person, it looks really good. And this one was rosewood as well. I'm sorry, not rosewood. Espresso, the dark one. And then this one is teak wood. I used this kind. So what I did was I took my alcohol ink, and I'm not going to show you inside because I've learned the hard way. Do not do this inside unless you have a very, very well ventilated area. I would do this outside. So I took my alcohol ink, spread it down, I took my paintbrush and just pushed it around. And then in the little holes, I just kind of, smushed down in there. And it got them really well. You may have to do that, 2 times because it dries really fast before you can get it moved. But it doesn't take much. And I know that it looks, it's not even, but actual film strips don't look even because they have a picture on them, right? So what I did with this one, I took packaging like this. This is what I alcohol inked on because I didn't want it to get all over everything else. And I took that, the residue from that, and I glued it onto the back of this one. And then I just put some little Santa Claus die cuts. I think these are German scrap on top so that it would look like pictures. You can kind of see it right there, that one. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with these, or I have an idea. This one, I took some clear stickers, like this. It was just a sticker. And this one I haven't peeled off yet, but I used this, so it's clear. And I laid it down on here. And then I alcohol inked over it. And it leaves it kind of clear like this, okay? Then on the back, I just stuck some old book page just to give it, I don't know, another look. So that's what I did on that one. And then, and this is the paper, like I said, that I alcohol inked on. And I like the look of it behind the strips. So I'm going to save that, and I'm going to glue it to this and probably just use it like that. I probably won't put any pictures or anything in it. I just like it. I like how that looks. But what I was going to do with these is kind of like she did and make clusters. And I always have, packaging with some book page glued to it. So I'm going to use that. Probably some muslin. I had some leftover ticking from that journal I made. I thought that might look kind of good behind one of these. And then I had some just strings from the ticking and from the muslin. I'm going to do that too. And I think she sewed hers. She had scrap masterboard that she used behind hers. The point is you can use whatever you want. You can make clusters however you want. Fabrics, whatever. And another thing, all these little punch outs, I got to figure out something to do with those two. You know me, I'm sure I will. But so what I was thinking, I would just take a piece of this board, and I think on the red one, I'm going to let a little bit of this board show. I think that will work. I don't think that will be a bad thing. And I'm not measuring or... Ooh, but you know, I got that really cool little cutter that I found the other... Well, I've had it for a while. I found it the other day again. I'll just use it. Cut me some little tabs. Let's see, how wide is that? That's probably wide enough. If it's too wide, we can always cut it down, right? So something like this. Cut me another one. We'll make a couple of them here. Something like that. Take a little piece of this ticking. And just make a neat cluster. Won't that look cool on the top of our page? Kind of trying to figure out how long I want this ticking, because I want it to show pretty good. And again, I'm pretty sure, well, I know she did. She sewed hers. I'm probably going to be lazy about it and not sew mine. Probably going to try to do a staple if it will work, if it'll hold everything. But something just like that. Do you think that's cute or big waste of time? I don't want to staple over Santa Claus, do I? But I think just that simple thing glued to the top of your page is going to be so cool. And I might go through and add a little crazy sewing too. But for now, that's what we've got. And I think that's really cool. So let's do one that doesn't have an empty frame. We'll just do something like this. The back looks kind of neat too. See, so that's what the back would look like if you did the not shiny side. It would look like kind of like that. And that looks pretty good too. And I cut this piece, but I like this piece because it's got some ink on it and it looks grungy. I want to use that. I think I'm just looking for an excuse to get out this little thing that I haven't used for ever, because I don't like the sound it makes when it cuts. So I'll probably take something like this, use some of my muslin. I don't know why I was worried about that nasty bit, because I'm going to cover it up. Ain't I? Basically. Some of these threads. I have some of this fabric here too. I think it's pretty. I have some tea-dyed lace. Maybe we should do a piece of that. That was probably a bit too long, but it's okay. You know what might look good? I have some rusted brads. Let's try that. This would be cool for a charm dingle too. I like that. And I could see some sewing on this one since there's nothing right there. I'll take my brad out probably and sew on that one a bit. And then I've got this one that I put the backing on. I might cut that and make two out of it. What do you think? This is the one that has the packaging, the where I inked, and the book page on the back. I don't know that that's really big enough for... Ooh, that's pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I may cut that, but I'm looking for this little scrap here, this gold stuff. I was wondering how that would look. So I'm going to cut this in two. I want to make two of them. Put some of that gold stuff. Piece of this fabric. The edge of this is wanting to curl up, so I'm just taking my fingernail and pushing against it to straighten it back out. Just something like this. Maybe a little piece still of this book. Yeah, I like that. I like that. There's some of my string. I like this string at the top. And then I got some of this dark that doesn't... Well, we already did something with one of those, didn't we? Okay, so I guess we did something with all three kinds. What do you think? Do you like them? I love them. I really do. They're simple. They're fast. We could stamp something there. You know, got to stamp. I think I'm going to stamp a number. Actually, I think I'm going to stamp this. Look at this. It's like a little field note. I think this is a Tim Holtz thing. Stamp of some kind. If I'd take my brad out and do that, which I will, that would look a lot better, wouldn't it? What do you think? Isn't that cute? I love them. I hope you like this. I hope you think, hey, I was looking how to do that too. Not just, boy, crazy woman. She needs to find better things to make with her time. Hope you like these, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.